Hello, welcome to Light Guided. Lisa here to do your monthly energy reading for December. Yes, it's already December. It is almost the end of 2020, and wow, what a year it has been. And for some of us, we're definitely having the experience of life moving at rapid speed, even though for me, I've been home since February of this year. It's been almost a year, and it feels like just a drop in a sea. It's just a drop of water in an ocean. It's gone by so fast. And with that, so Spirit has been calling me into this new format of providing these readings. And what they're asking of me is to, and I do this in my private readings, but now they're asking me to do this in my general readings, which is to open up the healing energy and to attune the time that we have together, to attune that in an open channel of healing. So I will be taking a moment to open those channels and to bring that healing attunement into this time that we have together. And basically, it's like, think of it like a tuning fork, it's like Spirit comes in and creates a frequency here that is for your highest good. So for whoever is drawn to this video, whenever you watch it, whoever watches this video will be connected into that energy that Spirit is bringing forward. And for me, they just like to remind me, I'm just the gateway, right? I'm just a gateway. I'm just a portal, a pathway, an opening. The energy really comes from Spirit and directly to you. And all energy is a frequency. All energy is a frequency. And so they're bringing in a particular frequency today. They're showing me 2 or 3 frequencies that they're bringing in for you. So give me just a moment to begin to open that portal and just allow that flow of energy to be present here with each of you. So the energy that they brought forward today is there's some activations that are coming through this reading today. So for some of you, there may be some activations in your energy field that help you to clear away some beliefs and things that are no longer in alignment for you as you are on the ascension journey and in the journey of raising your consciousness. And for others of you, there's an activation for your intuitive gifts. And on the overall, just a sense of well-being and comfort. And they're also telling me that for some of you, there is a shift that requires a lot of urgency, or there's a lot of urgency around the shift. For some of you, you're right at the edge of your, I'll call it an evolution, where you're just stepping into the awareness that you are at choice in your life. And once we step into the awareness that we're at choice in every way that we are in life, right? We're at choice in how we feel, we're at choice in how we experience the world, we're at choice in how we experience Spirit. We're always at choice when we elevate our consciousness, then we're able to use the tool of choice to create the life that we want. So they're showing me some of you are just at the beginning of that recognition. And for those of you that this resonates with, this is an attunement to support you moving into that next phase of your elevation, specifically around recognizing that you are at choice. They're asking me to remind you that for those of you that have past trauma or past very negative experiences, that there is never a denial of those experiences for an individual person, but there is a recognition that even when those experiences are part of your human experience, your human life, that you are still at choice. And so that tells me here for some of you, and this is, I'm going to say it this way because it's the only word that's coming to mind that seems common, but like a victim mentality. So sometimes we can be, especially if we've had really difficult childhoods or difficult lives, we can be in an energy of victim mentality and not even realize that we're in it. And that can look different for all of us. For some of us, it's just blaming other people for our feelings. And we feel justified in that. We feel totally justified because we're being triggered by other people's behaviors, and it's bringing out these parts of ourselves that we don't like or we don't feel comfortable with. And so we blame other people. That is on the spectrum of being in the victim mentality. And so they're telling me very clearly that it's important for you to know that while they would never deny the experience of the human being from those traumas or those negative experiences, they are saying it's time to empower yourself. It's a shift in your consciousness to begin to see that you are fully at choice in all ways. And they do recognize for some of you that may be a difficult piece to understand right now, but that in time you will grow to understand that, you will shift to understand that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what their first energy is. We want to look here at current messages for the collective Lightworkers, and I want to try something a little bit different. I want to look at and see what past life influences are present as well. Wow. So we have the energy of healing earth, and what they're showing me in this energy is that we're like infants on the planet as human beings in some way, no matter how spiritual we are, no matter how conscious we are, even if we're a guru or a Buddha, right? We are still, for one, we are the children of spirit, we're the children of God. For those of you that resonate with the term God, God is the divine creative force and, the intelligence and everything, and you can call it anything that you wish. I'm not attached to that. But we are the children of that energy. We are the offspring of that energy, and we, on the earth, we can only ever reach a certain level of consciousness. We can only ever reach a certain level of awareness. We are always infants as human beings. And again, no matter how evolved one person is or enlightened or whatever, we are still always only children on the earth, infants. And they're showing me that the reason they're saying it that way is because there's this infinite source of wisdom, infinite source of information, infinite source of spiritual energy that is so beyond our comprehension. It's so beyond our day-to-day awareness. And they're saying this is important because on earth, in our human form, we get very focused on what it means to be human. We get very focused on our attachments. We get very focused on our accomplishments. And we feel that these are the things of life. We believe that these are the things of life. The relationships that we have, the house that we own, the car that we drive. We believe these are the things of life. And what they're showing us here and what they're wanting to communicate today is that these are the benefits, right? You get to manifest these benefits in your life as you wish, making sure that you have a home that you feel comfortable in, a car that functions well, all of those things. There's nothing wrong with that. But what they're showing me is that abundance is so much greater than we recognize, and it starts from this. They're showing me a light right at the top of the solar plexus, between the solar plexus and the heart. And they're showing me this ball of light. And they're saying this is the beginning of abundance. This is where abundance lives. And as we tap into that energy within, we're tapping into that source energy of all of creation, of all of life. And one moment, please. So they're talking about here shifting into, and this will be important for some of you, shifting into an abundance consciousness, shifting into tapping into the energy of abundance so that our focus becomes more about our relationship with the abundance of the universe and less about the focus on the abundance of our personal objects. And again, they're not saying that there's anything wrong with the focus on personal objects, but it's a depth and frequency that's different. And so they're wanting to help us move into a higher frequency around how we see abundance. And that what they're communicating is by shifting our focus from the physical abundance into the spiritual abundance, that we're elevating our frequency and we're supporting, elevating the frequency of the planet in the same way. Because we are moving in that direction. I've said before in other messages, over the next 50 to 100 years, things are really evolving, and what we're evolving into and what the field is holding for us is an energy that's more egalitarian. It's more about equality and unity. And it is a new world order. And for us to support that energy moving forward, we're each called to raising our own frequency and our own vibration. And that has a lot to do with our own, like healing our own wounds and being a source of well-being rather than giving well-being. Let me see if there's any other messages here. And they're saying also, like, there's nothing to fear here. They want us to recognize the joy and pleasure of being human, and like in some sort of way, the easier we can take that, the lighter we can take that, the more joyful we can recognize the connectivity of our relationship with spirit, and even whatever's happening on the earth, whatever those external things are that are happening on the earth that are so difficult. They're saying, like, as much as you can, try to recognize the perfection in everything that's unfolding and try to bring a sense of lightheartedness to your own being, a sense of joy to your own being. And again, they're saying this is not a denial of what is. It's not a denial of what you're seeing, but recognize that it's our judgment that makes things difficult, not the thing itself. And they're showing me a picture of like throwing a rock into a still pond, and the pond is just this beautiful clear water, and you throw the rock into it and it brings up all the silt from the bottom and makes the pond dirty. Well, we could have a judgment about, well, the water shouldn't be dirty, it should be clean. But they're saying there is no judgment. It's just silt rising to the top. It just is. So what we're seeing in the world just is. And it's not for us to be in an energy of judgment about it. It is for us to be working on our own healing and working on our own attunement with spirit so that we are those full, open, and available beacons of light, helping to raise the consciousness of the planet at this time toward that equanimity, toward that sense of unity and egalitarianism that's so important for the evolution of the souls on the planet and the evolution of all souls, all energy. It's all connected. They say they're kind of laughing at me and saying, I make it so complicated, but actually it's so straightforward. It really is so straightforward. And it feels complicated because we're not always aware, we're not always shown everything, and we live in a way under a veil. There's only so much that we can perceive because of the level of our consciousness and the fact that we're in physical form, that we experience the physical form. Yeah, they're restating this message about, the things happening on the planet Earth right here and now that seem so dark. They just want to remind us, and this is the way it's coming through to me, is don't feed the darkness. Don't feed the darkness. We feed the darkness by being in fear of it. We feed, and this is true personally as well, right? We feed our own darkness by being afraid of parts of ourselves, and we don't need to be. Don't feed the darkness. We don't need to be in judgment about what's happening on the planet. We don't need to be fearful or worried that it's somehow wrong or isn't supposed to be this way. By focusing our attention on the light, by focusing our attention on our purpose on the planet, we are raising the frequency. And we don't have to give attention to the dark, to the lower energy that's coming up from the bottom of the pond, okay? That's not ours to do. That's not. And actually what they're telling me is it's not that it's not ours to do, but the way that we do it, and this has been a pervasive message in all of these channels, that we get to do it in a whole new way than what we used to do. We used to feel like we had to carry the burdens of the world on our shoulders, and they're saying we don't need to do that. In order to raise the frequency, we don't need to carry the burdens on our shoulders. This is truly about an interpersonal journey of raising our own individual frequency, allowing that frequency to become part of the greater frequency for all of those that are raising vibration right now. And it's like harmonic. They're showing me it's like a choir. It's like every person in the choir, if every person is singing the right note, then the whole choir sounds incredible, right? So we're here learning to sing the right note. Right. Let's look at past life influences that may be affecting some of you on this journey at this time. Wow. They gave me 4 here. So let's start with this energy right here. Share your voice. So it's interesting, and perhaps it's also partly the deck that I'm using, which is the Lightworkers Oracle here. So they're showing me really, many of you are waking up to your ancestry and your DNA. You're beginning to recognize that your past lives as in the human form is different than your past lives in the soul form. And many of you are beginning to wake up to this awareness of this greater energy that's beyond the planet. For some of you, you might resonate with the term starseed, or have origins in starseed origins. But they are saying that for some of you, you're bringing an energy forward. They're saying in your Akashic record, you're bringing some of this energy forward, that you cannot express yourself, and that you have fear of persecution. You have fear of, if you step too much into your light, if you step too much into your purpose, or into these esoteric things that we talk about, especially here at Light Guided, right? That if you step into that esoteric realm, that somehow, something bad will happen to you. So there's some energy around that, okay? And equally, High Priestess, same kind of energy about, if you step into your gifts and your psychic abilities and your intuition. For some of you, your mediums, where you're able to channel and or connect with people who've passed over. That for some of you, there's an anxiety about that, about opening that door, about stepping into that energy. And they're telling me it's because you still have a foot in both worlds. It's like you're still anchored to the perception that that something's wrong with that. For some of you, this is steeped in your religious upbringing. Okay, and again, this could be over many past lives where you have been powerful in other lives, powerful in your soul energy. You've been part of, they're showing me divine feminine, and they're showing me the tribes, the feminine tribes, and that has nothing to do with gender. They're just showing me these feminine tribes of like the ancient past, beyond the planet, beyond our documented history here on Earth. But they're showing me these tribes of feminine energy that have been part of the universe as we are beginning to understand. They've been part of this universe for all eternity. There's a lot more there, but they're saying move on because it's like going down a rabbit hole, right? And then again, we have this energy of starseed, beginning to see that we are connected to all planets. I often like the reminder that the planet Earth is like one speck of sand floating through an infinite space, like hurling through space, right? In a particular solar system, in a particular galaxy. Well, there are millions of solar systems and millions of galaxies. So we are connected to all of that. We don't have consciousness around that, but we are connected to all of that. And so, one moment, please. They're specifically calling out, and I feel like this is just for a few of you, they're specifically calling out past lives related to Atlantis. And I have to laugh because they've been giving me all these messages on things that I don't particularly personally resonate with. I don't particularly resonate with Atlantis or the Pleiadians or Lemuria necessarily. But when they give me those messages, I feel them and I know what they're talking about, but it doesn't resonate for me personally. But they're saying, for some of you, there are past lives in Atlantis. And for those of you that resonates with, they're saying that there is an activation here for you around that experience, around that part of your soul's history, and there's information for you to bring forward. So you are in fact becoming a portal for the energy from Atlantis, from that vibration, from that frequency, okay? I don't know what that means. That's just what they're telling me. And then finally we have this energy of mirror. What or who is triggering you? One moment, please. So this is a little different than the question about, what's influencing you from past life, from your past life experience. But what they're telling me is that there are things happening in your here and now that are triggering you. There are situations that are triggering you. And those are the things that are triggering you, are the things from your past life that are still needing to be healed and released. So let's see, give me an example of that. They're saying, I can't see the detail of this, but they're saying for some of you, it's a very specific thing. There's something that happens. They're showing me it's kind of ceremonial. There's something ceremonial that happens and it makes you really uncomfortable, or it makes you angry. Like there's something like, for example, like you go to church and you see them light a candle, something like that. Okay. And it makes you really upset. That trigger, that feeling of upsetness over that particular event, is related to past life experiences. And so in general, the message that they want you to know here, it's not about the particular trigger. It's about becoming aware of the triggers, becoming aware when the trigger happens so that you can start to heal and release. And they're saying that for some of you, where it gets kind of confusing is that you have triggers that are related to things that have happened in this life. So let's say you were dating somebody and you were having fun and that person broke your heart, and now every time you meet somebody who reminds you of that person, you get upset, right? So there are things like that in this life, but they're saying that the piece that they want you to focus on are the triggers that don't seem to relate to the current here and now, but that are about past life experiences. They really want you to start to clear the energy of past life experiences. And there's a particular thread of messages that I've been receiving for quite a number of years around karma. A lot of us have this belief that karma is something we have to fight through. We have to, we owe spirit some kind of, skin off our back sort of thing, right? Eye for an eye. Part of the healing and part of the energy that we're in is to recognize that we no longer have to relate to the idea of karma in the same way. That in fact, we're able to heal. It's like they're showing me a string on a guitar, and as we pluck the guitar in this place in time, we pluck the guitar for healing, and it reverberates all the way back. It reverberates back through every lifetime. That's the healing. There is no need to repeat the same patterns over and over again, or relive the lesson over and over again. We simply learn to identify the triggers. We pluck the string of healing. They're laughing at me because they know this is like a crazy explanation, right? But we pluck the string of healing and it reverberates back through our soul lineage, through our entire being, okay? So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense for some of you. It's a hard message for me to explain, but I hope that resonates for some of you. Let's see, what more do they want you to know here? What lessons are in progress? What lessons are in progress for you? Wow. DNA, karma. We were just talking about that. So that's an affirmation or a confirmation of that. Beautiful. And reflection. It's, the lessons that are in progress for you are really, these are being affirmed. Being in communion with the divine. That's part of the work that we're in right now. Part of the work that we're in right now is being in communion with ourselves, being in communion with the divine, being in communion with all that's around us, with each other, with nature, moving into that energy of unification. One moment, please. They're also saying in this energy of communion that part of your lesson is around learning to receive the messages, learning to receive the clarity from your higher self. So for some of you, that's a lesson in progress, learning to receive that message from your higher self, the messages that are here. And, you know, to be clear about this, my particular role in this time with you is to begin to open your awareness that you have, that you are your own spiritual guide, right? I'm not a guide. I'm just a channel. I just happen to be open and available to this information, and I'm sharing it with you to help you become open and available to your information so that you are, they're showing me like contained within your own soul, right? It's like contained within your own energy, learning to really fully trust your own higher self and trust divine. So you, I mean, really ultimately, so you don't need people like me or, you know, to tap into energies like this, because it will be fully contained within you. And here's the affirming message of DNA and karma. For some of you, that lesson is very present. The lesson of, oh, wait a second, I don't need to keep repeating the same patterns and keep repeating the same lessons over and over again until I learn them. You can cause the healing to happen, and I'm using the word healing very loosely. You can cause the shift to happen within your consciousness that then affects your DNA, which then affects that, what we call karma, which is that, again, it comes to me visually as like a guitar string that we pluck and it reverberates throughout our energy. And remember, our souls, even though we're here on the planet in our souls are multidimensional. That means that part of the energy that we exist because of or within exists in across multiple dimensions and time at the same time. And again, it's hard for me to communicate those messages. I'm learning in my own work. Part of my work and part of my process is learning how to take the messages that I'm receiving and bring them forward in a way that brings clarity to you. So that's part of my work right now, part of my lesson. And finally, we have this energy of reflection. So for some of you, this energy of reflection it's a double message. It is both about using time to reflect on who you are, finding discernment in your own energy field. That will resonate for only a few of you, but finding that discernment in your own energy field. And they're saying, though, that this energy of reflection is about going deeper. And some of you are just kind of at the surface, and you're at the surface of, how would I explain this? You're at the surface of tapping into the well of energy that's available for you, but you haven't pierced the surface yet. You're just kind of skimming across the top. So the lesson here for some of you is not to be afraid to go deeper, not to be afraid to really, look under every rock, look in every mirror, really face yourself, face your life, because part of getting into greater communion with Spirit is being able to shed all of the things about us in the human form that prevent us from having clarity in our relationship with Spirit. What does Divine want you to know at this time? Wisdom. Relaxation, yes. Relax, it's all good. It's all good. And freedom. That's what they're telling me. Just relax, it's all good. The messages can feel heavy, right? I mean, they can be kind of intense for me as well. But it's all good. So Divine wants you to know that, a double message here, all the wisdom that you truly need is contained within you. And all of that wisdom is contained within this universal bubble, right? This energy that we exist within. The energy that we exist within also exists within us. And it is our work to, and I think this came out earlier, it's our work to unveil our consciousness so that we're connected into this deeper wisdom. They're showing me for some of you that, reading books, books about spiritual wisdom and things like that, that it will help you to begin to bridge that gap and that understanding. So for some of you, there may be some books that you're interested in looking at. Again, around wisdom, though, not necessarily around, psychic gifts or anything like that. The books are wisdom books, books on Buddhism, Celtic wisdom, Ralph Waldo Emerson, books like that, okay? And in fact, funny, they're showing me here, you're laying in a hammock reading a book. So yes, the energy of relaxation, they want you to know, let it be easy. This doesn't have to be hard. Just allow the process to be easy. Just allow that it is here for your highest good. It's nothing to fight with. It's nothing to worry about. You're on the right path. There's no mistakes here. And just breathe and relax into the process. Relax into the journey. There's nothing to struggle against here, okay? And finally, they want you to know that a double message here as well. You are always at choice. You always have free will and free choice in all that you do, think, feel, etc. Including what comes out of this message for you, right? It's you're at free choice to take what resonates and leave the rest behind, or not listen to the messages at all, or let the messages come forward with that healing energy to help activate you. Okay, and they are telling me, so I just got a hit that some of the messages that came forward here will definitely be activating some of you. Meaning kind of pushing those buttons and, acting as triggers for some of you. So some of that is meant to be coming forward in this reading. They're also saying the other message here is that as we learn to master the tools of our consciousness, such as choosing what we think, choosing what we feel, choosing how we experience the world, as we master those tools, we do come into a greater sense of freedom. And some of you aren't able to see that yet. And so it feels like work, or it feels frustrating. But the message here is keep chipping away at that belief system toward using these tools of consciousness. And as you use these tools of consciousness, you will begin to experience a much greater sense of freedom. There's more here to this message. One moment, please. Something more they want to bring forward here. Two energies. We have adventures and community. So I feel like they want to acknowledge, for some of you, there's a couple of you this message is for, and they want to acknowledge they understand your struggle. They understand the difficulties that you've been through in life. And they understand that you've made great progress. And they want you to know that you've made great progress, okay? They want you to know that you've made great progress. And in no way is a continued evolution or a continued transformation, in no way does that minimize what you've been through, where you've come from, and the growth that you've had, right? In fact, one moment, please. There is an entity coming through here for someone watching this message. This is an older female who has passed, and actually they're showing me, it's weird because it feels like this person is old, like, you know, past 50, 60, 70 years ago, but somehow they're like a grandmother type, and yet there's also a sense that they only just recently passed. I don't know what that means. There may be two different energies there, but this energy is present coming forward for someone watching this video, and they just they feel bad that they had to leave, and they're still in their transitional energy. It may be that they left a long, long time ago, and they've been in this transitional energy and they can't quite pass over. So that's a message for someone here. Sorry for the interruption. Sometimes the veil has felt very thin to me lately. Ever since October, it's like the veil has been very thin. And there's definitely a lot of energies moving forward. But that energy that came forward, a female figure who feels older, they just want you to know that they love you, and that they're still trying to get to the other side. They're still trying to find the light to the other side. So if that message resonates for you, you know, there's a prayer that you can offer that energy to move over, to let them know that it's okay to pass on to the other side. Okay, all right. Let's move on. They're also saying here this double message of, you know, in your freedom to experience adventure is also part of your freedom here. Same energy here. So in the energy of freedom, you see all these birds flying. So we're also seeing all these parrots flying, and we're seeing the butterflies flying as well. So the message that they want you to know is that I think they said you're free to be in this space of choice, but they're also saying enjoy the freedom that you have. We put a lot of constraints on ourselves, and not realizing that we are doing it to ourselves. We put constraints on ourselves through our beliefs and through our behaviors and our patterning. It's not conscious, and there's no judgment in that. But they're just saying that we get to choose how free we feel, and they want to just remind you that you are in fact free, okay? I'm going to pull a card on what is your purpose for the month of December. What is your purpose or your focus? And they're asking me to use a different deck. One moment, please. What is your focus for the month of December? Yeah, behind the mask. Breaking free from any concept that you have that it's not okay to be in your full expression. Connecting with people, cultivating relationships, being part of your, you know, what you might call a tribe. They're also saying, like, you know, okay, so for some of you, you currently have circles of friends that don't know certain things about the way you believe, think, and feel. And they're saying, like, you don't have to reveal that to your current friends unless you feel called to, unless you feel safe doing that. But what they are saying is that you can begin to cultivate new circles of friends, new connections that will allow you to take off this mask, okay? Hidden motivations. Yeah. So, you know, in this month, just again, being really clear about, okay, so there's a message for a couple of you individually as well, but let me let me finish. So for some of you, this is again about coming out from behind the veil, right? Showing your true self, stepping into that. And even if you don't reveal your belief system or your intuitive skills or whatever that is, even if you don't reveal that to people around you, recognize that you can just be in the energy of it. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. You don't have to, flaunt it in front of people. Like, you can just be in it and just know that that's part of who you are, and just allow that to be okay. And for those of you that that are having a hard time in your current social circles because of the things that are coming forward in your consciousness, they're saying like you can connect in with other social circles. They're also saying for some of you that there are hidden gems within your current social circles. There are people that fully believe what you believe and connect in with what you connect in with, but that you haven't had those conversations. So they're saying follow your intuition around that, and you'll know the people that will resonate with where you're going and the consciousness that you're evolving into. You'll know who they are, and you can begin to have those conversations. Just feel it out. And you may end up creating more friends, deeper friendships as a result of that. The other message they were bringing forward here, which is, again, just for one or two of you, just for a few of you, is use your intuition around the people around you, that some people around you might have hidden motivations right now. They're showing me there's nothing dubious about this. It's things like, for example, somebody might be jealous of you. You already know this. You already sense this. But somebody might be in admiration of you, and maybe they're putting energy towards you that's kind of jealous or envious. And there may be somebody who has a romantic interest in you who's not coming forward yet, who's kind of keeping that to themselves. And boy, they are keeping it to themselves. They want to reveal this to you. They want to reveal this to you, but they are keeping it very, very much hidden at this time. I feel like let's get additional clarification on that. Playing it safe. Right now they're playing it safe, okay? So they're holding back their feelings about you. They don't want to tell you how they feel because they're playing it safe. They're not ready yet. There's something that they're sad about this. They're kind of sad about playing it safe. They'd really like to be able to come forward and share this information with you, but they're a little bit stuck right now. They may be resolving some other energy. They may be resolving some other situations, okay? So again, that's just for a select few of you. The energies are a little all over the place today. It's kind of funny. That's kind of common for what's been happening lately, I think. All right, my friends, let's see. So let's look at, so this is kind of the focus for December. Let's look at what is supporting you. And they're asking me to use a different deck. Okay, what is supporting you in the month of December? Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're saying to keep all of these. Okay, so I will. Yeah, beautiful. The energy of joy. We have opal. The energy of grounding, hematite. The energy of lovers. This is a clear quartz crystal. The energy of forgiveness, pink tourmaline, beautiful. And the energy of healthy body. So fantastic. So in the month of December, for some of you, there may be this love relationship coming forward. For some of you who are in connection with a partner now, that relationship or that connection is very supportive to you during this time. They're saying here that it's important to take care of your physical body during this time, to make sure that you're staying grounded, connecting in with the energy of joy and forgiveness. So try to have fun, try to lighten up a little bit, and definitely if there are areas where there's forgiveness needed, even if that's within yourself, and they're saying, yes, that's mostly the inner forgiveness, now is the time that's supporting that. And again, really focusing on staying grounded. The energies have been really interesting, and I have found myself having to do a lot of conscious grounding. Even though I meditate every single day, throughout the day I get really ungrounded quickly. And it's because there's just so much shift happening. There's so much energy happening, okay? So what needs to be healing? What needs healing through the month of December? What areas are here for healing in the month of December? Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Fear. Letting go of fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So wherever there might be fear in your field right now, wherever there might be fear in your consciousness, rather than resisting that fear, recognize that that fear is there to show you the other side, which is love. And you get to bring love into that energy of fear. You don't have to, deny the fear. You don't have to shut down the fear. Just bring love into that energy, into that space. Trust. Some of you may be working on issues of trust in the month of December. I accept that my inner voice will guide me correctly, will always guide me correctly. So working on healing a sense of self-trust, trusting yourself to contain, to contain all of it, and to know that you're being guided well, and that you're a choice in all of that. And finally, we have acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. So for some of you, you may be resistant. You may be holding on. You may be holding on to things that you feel like you're supposed to change or shift in some way, that it's your job to make them different. And this message is basically saying it's okay to let those things go. It's okay to release yourself from the burden of feeling like you have to fix it for other people or other situations. So being in an energy of acceptance. All right. Oh my gosh, this reading has gone on so long. I had no idea. I'm going to pull a couple soul messages for you and a heart and soul card, and then we will wrap up the messages for December. Aw. Name all of the things that you love. Are you one of them? I give myself all the love and attention I need. Some of you may just be in a space where you're needing more self-love right now. Just some attention, just really nurturing and nourishing yourself. And I'll pull heart and soul message. Thank you. Take in that artwork. It's so cool. I love that. It's such beautiful energy. Allow your imagination to drift beyond the horizon. Beyond time, there is a world of dreams without limits, full of magical ideas, a world just waiting for you. But this faraway world is not so far. It is inside your heart, and all it takes to get there is a dream. Wow. I feel like that's a really powerful message, and I don't know if this was some of the messages that came forward earlier. I feel like it is, but basically, this card is a reminder of allowing yourself to be in an energy of imagination. That energy helps connect you in with spirit. That energy helps you to connect in with that consciousness that you're evolving into, and let it be fun, let it be joyful, not so serious, right? Not so difficult. We can heal our karma just like that. We don't have to fight and struggle against it. Easy peasy. Cheesy. Thank you so much for the gift of being present with you, and I wish you incredible abundance, love, and blessings, and well-being. Until we meet again, thanks.